Hey everyone, my name is Gabrielle and welcome to FrumiousReads. I am filming in front of an actual bookshelf today. I finally drug my bookshelf out of storage because I figured if I took away my Christmas tree, I would have room to actually put real bookshelves up. I'm not sure how I like recording in front of them yet. Should I stay recording here or should I go back to my old background? Because I'm not sure, because I kind of like being non-conformist and not having a bookshelf background, but then I also really like my bookshelf, so I don't know which one I'm gonna do yet. You guys will just have to let me know what you think. Without further ado, let's just jump into the books that I read this week. I read The Girl Who Fell from the Sky by Heidi Deroe, Animal Farm by George Orwell, Fifth Avenue at 5 a.m. by Sam Wasson, Magic Study by Maria V. Snyder, And Only to Deceive by Tasha Alexander, Dreaming in Cuban by Christina Garcia, and I read A Night Without Armor by Jewel. So out of those books, I have to say that there was only one that I would go back and read again, and that was And Only to Deceive by Tasha Alexander. It's a historical fiction romance mystery novel, which just, if that doesn't grab your attention, then I don't know what will. It's a historical fiction novel set around the main character, Emily, whose husband died about 6 months after they are married. 2 years later, she finds his journals and kind of realizes what kind of man he was and how much she would have genuinely fallen in love with him. It's essentially Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice meets The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Like, it is so good. It's just so interesting and mysterious, and it keeps you on your toes the entire time. There's just so many twists, and of course there is a love story, but what I like about it is that the love story is not the center focus. The mystery is, and Emily's character as a whole and her independence and how she loves being able to do what she wants and make her own decisions with her own land and her own money now that she's a widow, just all the options that are afforded to her. So I thought that was really interesting. I loved how the author did it. It was just written so amazingly. It really felt like you were back in that Victorian era, and I just genuinely enjoyed reading it. The okay book that I read this week, I guess I would have to say, is Fifth Avenue, 5 a.m. I don't ever know how to say that. What this book is it explores kind of like the history and the making of Breakfast at Tiffany's. I've never actually seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, which I think is like a fatal mistake at this point, and I really want to go watch it, especially after reading this book. It's essentially exploring from the original author of the book Breakfast at Tiffany's, just the genuine process that it took to turn that into a movie, and all the times it almost fell through, and all the times that just it genuinely didn't work, and all the people who said that this wasn't going to be a good movie. I thought it would be all about Audrey Hepburn and just her role in it, and she was obviously a big, huge part of it. Like, she's part of the reason why it was so successful, but it also took a lot into account the work behind the scenes, like the producers and just the side actors and the managers and the script writers. They all had their own sections of the novel and they had their own backstory, and so it was really kind of interesting just to read everyone's input and how everybody contributed to. So it was definitely a book that I enjoyed reading, but it is very much a book that, unless you're interested in that sort of thing, unless you genuinely want to know more about Breakfast at Tiffany's and the making and just kind of the effort that went into it, but if you just pick this book up off the shelf, you probably won't enjoy it. And then the book that I did not enjoy reading this week, it is Magic Study. Oh my gosh, when this book is good, it has parts that are so good and so genuinely interesting, and I love them, and then it just gets so sloppy, and just there's parts that just don't make sense, and there's just so much confusion, and I want to love this book because the parts that are good are really good and the plot is really interesting. Now that I've gotten to know the characters and just know the world that they're in, I love them and I want to see more of them, but just in general, sometimes it's just so slow. Besides the main character and like her kind of group, none of the other characters are really fleshed out, and it's just, I want to see more of that because the characters that are fleshed out are amazing, but just in general, this book drives me insane. It has so much potential to be good that I want to keep reading it just to see if it will live up to that potential, but just at the same time, it's just like, God, you were doing so well, and then all of a sudden you could just get this flat chapter where nothing happens. You could tell it's just almost a filler. So it's just, that is my personal just bone to pick with this series. Here's my opinion. I have read the 2 books of the series that I have. If I somehow find the other books in like a thrift store or, you know, garage sale or something, and they're cheap, I will buy them and finish them, but at this point I would not go to an actual bookstore and buy them off the shelf. That is my week 2 wrap up. For this week, I'm going to be doing another challenge from the Goodreads group, Around the Year in 52 Books. For this week, I'm going to be doing the challenge of read a book that you meant to read in 2015 but didn't. That book is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. I got it in 2015 and I just have not had the chance to read it yet, so I'm going to read this book. I'm really excited for this book because I love To Kill a Mockingbird, so I can't wait to see what happens with this one. For those of you guys who don't know, I am still doing doing the giveaway of Laura Preble's book Out, which if you have not seen that interview video I have of her, go ahead and check the description below or the annotations on the video. That will be running until the 22nd, which is the end of this week. And you guys, all you have to do is just leave a comment on the video that I interviewed with Laura. Leave a comment with what your favorite part of the video was, and also some way that I can reach you, because people have been commenting, but they also haven't been leaving me some way to reach them. So it's like, I don't know if you guys are entering or if you guys just are like saying this was great, which either way, thank you so much. But leave either your email or your Twitter username, whichever one you check more, and that's the way that I will get a hold of you guys. But yeah, so other than that, that is all that I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below of my new video setup. If you guys didn't know, I have a Twitter and I am really active on it, so go ahead and check out the Twitter icon, and that is my username. But I will talk to you guys later. Alright, bye.
I think at that point I was... Okay.